Hi and welcome to Athena Insights, brought to you by Village TV. My name's Linda Murray. This show is really an opportunity for you to benefit from the wisdom, experience and knowledge from some industry experts to really help you accelerate your success and put your best stiletto forward. I am so excited to have the gorgeous Renee Opperman with us today from Hundreds and Thousands Marketing. Welcome, Renee.
Thank you, Linda. It's
Great
a pleasure to be here.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So look, Renee's going to be going through a few things with us, including helping people use marketing to really get out of the dark and come into the spotlight, which will be fantastic. But before we get on to that, Renee, Hundreds and Thousands, awesome business name, great marketing collateral and website. Where did that come from?
Oh, thank you. I actually do get that a lot. Everybody seems to love the business name. I went through a few ideas, but one day I actually have children, and one day I dropped the whole can of Hundreds and Thousands when I was making their sandwich.
Oh, no.
And they all fell on the floor, and I went, you know what, that is a great name for a business. And it's very reflective of me as well, because I'm quite colourful and I have lots of ideas, so it just seemed to be a perfect match.
Fantastic. I love it. And that personal story never goes astray
That's
either.
exactly right.
Fantastic. So look, as a woman in business, I have found, and working with lots of other business owners, marketing is such a massive concept. You know, there are so many different facets to it, and I've personally found that can become quite overwhelming to know where to start with your marketing. So can you sort of take us back to basics on the whole concept of marketing for a small business?
Absolutely. Look, it can be very confusing and very daunting for people, but you just have to go back to basics, as you said, and keep it very simple.
Okay.
So the most important thing is to start with your brand. Your brand is your identity. It's basically, what do you want to tell people about who you are? So there's a few things to your brand that you need to think about. The first thing is your logo. You want to keep it simple. You want to be reflective, a very simple name, and also keep the colours very, very basic as well. The other thing that's really important is it needs to resonate with the experience that you want to give people. When they touch you, when they touch your business, what kind of experience are you going to give to them? So that's really important. A tagline for a business is also very important. Some people don't forget to actually think about that. But a tagline is your promise for your brand. It's not the services that you offer. People sometimes get that very confused. It's the promise. For example, you think of Apple, think different. And you think of Apple and it's like, well, yeah, they do think differently. And it's a very simple promise. IGA, for example, how the locals like it. When you go to IGA, the tellers, part of their promise is the tellers know your name when you come in, no matter how broad the store might be, or wherever the people come from, they have that connection.
That's so true. And when you think of a brand like Nike, people probably say just do it more than they actually use the word Nike.
Absolutely. So yeah, your tagline is also very important when it comes to your brand as well. So simplicity is key, and consistency is also very key.
Wonderful. And I imagine getting help with those things would be advisable as well. I mean, we all have our strengths, and not everyone's strength is in creativity around understanding how to get that essence of your own business. Sometimes as they say, you can't see the freckle on your own face. Sometimes you're just too close to it.
Look, I totally agree. The most important thing, one thing you cannot cut short on, is outsourcing for your brand, because that it will go everywhere. So it's the most important step that you just shouldn't cut short on. Obviously, small businesses have got very fairly budgets that they have to consider, but don't cut short on your brand and your logo. So.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And obviously first impressions count. And I think these days what most people experience as their first impression of a business is often the website.
Absolutely.
We tend to go there first before we do anything else.
We do. Statistics say that 97% of our purchasing decisions actually start online. So it's very important to have a website. Well, first of all, have presence online. That's the most important thing. Let's start there. And also to have a website that you love, and that's also very functional and speaks to your target market. So the few things, the tips that I would certainly say that need to occur on a website is, obviously, let's start with the homepage. So with the homepage, you obviously need to be very clear with your business services.
Yes.
But that's keep that very simple on the homepage. You can go into detail down the track. You want to have very clear imagery and attractive imagery. I would also suggest video on the homepage.
Okay,
We're
great.
so time poor these days. Sometimes people just don't want to read. So there's always an opportunity there, 30 seconds to a minute to put your point across.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a call to action. Make sure you have a very clear phone number on the homepage.
Fantastic.
Or an email address. So, and the biggest thing as well today is social icons. That's the first thing that people want to address when they, see your business. The other major points about your website is you obviously want to have your portfolio of work. Testimonials is very key as
Great.
well.
And just on testimonials, written or video, which do you find people engage with more?
Look, you can definitely do both, absolutely. I don't think that it matters, but video has a stronger appeal,
Okay,
absolutely
fantastic.
stronger appeal. But as long as there's something there that you can speak to your target audience to back your business up, basically. So.
And I imagine with video testimonials, it's also an opportunity for people to see people like them. I know my business, I specialise in professional women, so to have videos where people see other professional women having a great experience, that would add value and credibility.
Absolutely. I mean, business today is really about people connecting with people at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So, and if you can connect with like-minded people, then your referrals will obviously continue. So
great.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you mentioned was that whole world of social media. I think we are so influenced these days by what other people think socially online. Tell us a bit about that and where that fits into this whole marketing mechanism, if you like.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Look, social media today, as we all know, is very important. We all spend our lives on social media.
Yeah,
I don't think there anybody that doesn't. And that is a key part of every business these days. But there is so much out there. So what you need to do is really ensure that you just stick to the ones that your target audience is visiting. Don't try and get a handle across everything, because you just stick to your few and do that very well. I mean, obviously Facebook is a large portion of where people are these days.
Yes.
And with promoting your business on Facebook, it's pretty much about opening the curtains to your home. You're letting people into your world.
Okay.
So obviously you have to be very professional about that. And you don't want it to be a continual push of sales. People just don't want to hear about that. So look, from my experience, the engagement that occurs on Facebook is by posting photos of your team, your family in some respects, but don't go too personal. And just funny quotes that might relate to the business, or something that's very unique to your business that nobody else has seen. Then there's also Instagram, which is growing quite considerably. From everybody is just, as I said, so time poor. It's about visuals.
We've become very visual, haven't we?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I imagine you'd have to have a strategy in terms of just if we look at Facebook alone, whether you as a business have a Facebook page or whether you're publishing through your own Facebook profile.
Sure,
okay. As a person.
Yeah, definitely. Look, everybody should avoid posting anything from a personal point of view if they have a business.
Yes.
Definitely create a business page, and it has to be quite separate.
Good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep them very separate.
Okay, fantastic. Good tip. Now, what about e-newsletters? That's another thing. I think we all have such flooded inboxes these days that, is more mail more. So what can you tell us in terms of, is an e-newsletter for every business? Should we all be doing it?
Sure. Look, I do think e-newsletters are beneficial to most businesses.
Yeah, great.
You want to be put out there as a complete expert in your field, and e-newsletter is one way of doing that. It's sharing information and knowledge that you have with your community. That's what an e-newsletter is about. You don't want to do it too often. You don't want to bombard people's inboxes 3 times a week.
Absolutely.
But you do want to touch them. It's just that constant reminder that you're there, that you're sharing knowledge. And a good tip for a newsletter is maybe have a bit of a teaser on your newsletter and guide them back to, say, a blog on your website. So the main thing that you want to do is draw people to your website, because once they're in there, they'll start looking around and that's where you want to capture them. So
which would probably through Google Analytics and what have you give you an insight as to where traffic's actually going and what's of interest to people once they hit your site.
absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. So Google Analytics is your reporting tool for your website. It's actually free through Google. So with your web developer, make sure that they actually have that locked in, and you can go in anytime and look at the traffic that's happening on your website. So very important.
Okay, fantastic. Just before we jump on, because I'd love to speak to you more about outsourcing as well. You know, I'm a big fan of outsourcing. Is back to the newsletters in terms of frequency. I mean, is it different for every business as to how regularly you are?
Absolutely. Look, that is very true. I spoke to Money Magazine the other day, for example, and they said they send out an e-newsletter 3 times a week, and I was actually a bit astounded. And I said, 3 times a week? And he said, no, we get a very high open rate. People want to know what's going on.
So it's all about the value of the content.
It's all about the value of the content, for example. But if you don't have anything to say, don't just send
That's a really good point.
nothing. Don't send rubbish, because people just won't read it, and that once they get that taste of that, they probably won't come back. So always ensure, and don't be scared. Don't be scared to send an e-newsletter. People think, oh, I don't want to share my knowledge, but just be confident in your own ability and the knowledge that you have to share, because you are an expert in your field.
Yeah, I think we've definitely shifted from, as a society, from almost scarcity and I'm the expert, you need to come to me to find something out, to that sort of abundance of information.
Absolutely.
People can find out information anywhere, so you may as well be the person who's sharing it.
Absolutely. And just going back to the reporting as well, you can actually grab some really great reporting through your e-newsletter campaign. You can see actually how many people have seen your email, how many have opened, how many emails have bounced, so you can go back and fix that. And so for example, you might get, John Smith opening it 10 times, and you might go, okay, well, he's quite interested, I don't know him. I might send him an email and track him down and just see if there's anything I can do for him. So,
great tip.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we've focused a lot on online marketing and your online presence. What about offline?
Sure.
What are the options there for small business?
Offline does definitely have, even though online is very strong, offline does have a role in the marketing wheel. It complements and also supports your online activities. For example, a direct mail out piece. I have a client where we recently sent out to all of the lawyers a direct mail piece, and it was fantastic because it stays either with the receptionist or other people are coming through and looking at that, and we got some really great feedback on that. So yes, it definitely still has a role. The other offline activity, which is extremely important to business, is networking, and I cannot stress that enough. Building your referrals, building your business partners, putting yourself out there. You really have to allocate the time, because it is time consuming, but you really do have to allocate that time to networking. And there's so many networking groups out there. You just have to decide what your intention is.
Yeah, and really set the intention for each event you go to. I see it so often. You see so many business owners just burn through time and money in going to the wrong networking events. And great, I think if you're a solopreneur, we love to connect with people.
We do.
So we love to go to an event and meet people, and there are lots of events that are sort of ladies who lunch. But I think to actually have that intent as to what do I want out of this networking event?
Absolutely.
What do I need to come home with?
Absolutely. You can either come home with 20 business cards and you've achieved, or your intention might be more of a supportive, nurturing, learning forum. So if you know your intention, then you'll come away feeling fantastic. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Great, so many awesome tips in there in such a short amount of time. Thank you. We've definitely got a thought leader on our hands in the world of marketing. So if you wanted more information from Renee, you can find her at hundredsandthousands.com.au. And this has been another episode of Athena Insights. Renee, thank you so much for joining us and flooding us with great tips and tricks to take home.
It's been a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.